What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Fourth and Wrong. I'm your host, Tyler Huck. With me, as always, Chris Marler. Chris, just a lovely college football season for the two of us. Totally different spectrums, but at the same
hold
time.
on. Alabama just got flagged again for you opening the show. Fuck.
How many flags did they end up with on Saturday?
15 for 115. They've had 32 for 244 in their last two trips to Knoxville. Let's be very clear, because I already see Wesley Williams in here, and I posted some stuff on Twitter showing a few plays that I think could have been called differently. That's not why Alabama lost. They did not get screwed by the refs into making them lose, but it didn't help. I will say that. Greg McElroy, I will say I am officially on the fuck Greg McElroy train, really? That all Bama fans seem to be on. Did you watch any of that game?
I did, but I did not have the volume on at all times. So because I had
Which I didn't.
Going. But yeah, does he try to do the Herb Street thing, what he used to do with Ohio State, where he tried to be over the top negative about them? Just
people think that I'm like Bama fans think that I'm like a Georgia fan because of the way I talk about Georgia in as opposed to Alabama before they play, which is I'm just trying to be objective most of the time. Wesley, we'll sing Rocky Top later. But it is it's so far over the top. I was telling Allie about this and somebody else, I think, and Jeff too. You were in 2021. I remember living in Rich's basement and posting this clip because he got all upset about there was a tackle out of bounds. Bama had Brian Robinson's running the ball. He has a foot out of bounds. There's a tackle on the sideline. It's a close game at the time. And McElroy goes, I just don't know what you want him to do. I just don't know what you want him to do. And so I filmed the video and I go, they wanted to tackle him in bounds, Greg. They want to tackle him in bounds. And I posted it on Twitter and it did very well. And Cole Kublik was like, dude, McElroy did not appreciate that because they have a show together.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, everything,
confirmed that he did see it.
Right. So this past week, I tweeted something about it. And listen, Wesley Williams, kudos to Tennessee. They deserved to win that game. They did win that game. The better team won that football game on Saturday. But Ryan Williams getting held like a fucking newborn going into the end zone late in the third quarter, early fourth, I think it was fourth quarter actually, on two straight plays right in front of the refs, it never being called. And then they show this replay, and this is what pissed me off, Tyler. Williams beats him off the line, gets inside, and the Tennessee defender puts both arms around his fucking waist like they were at a goddamn middle school dance, pulls him back so he's even with him, and then Milroe, of course, overthrows it. And they showed the replay. It's very clear he is being held, and it should be pass interference. McElroy, direct quote. Yeah, you can see he beats him off the line, but he just kind of stumbles there, allowing the defender to catch up. And I was like, okay, Greg, go fuck yourself, dude. What are we talking about? But yeah, it's been a tough stretch, dude. You could easily make the case that Bama could be 3-4 or worse. I mean, they're just not a good football team right now.
Yeah, and like we said going into the end of the season, I mean, it's going to be you're not going to have a great season in your first year replacing Nick Saban, no matter who you are as the coach. There's too much to get turned around in one season. Dude, Ryan Williams, 20 targets in the game.
18 targets in the game. We can get into the actual game about why it was so bad. I also would like to talk about this for a second. What's the old saying, Tyler? It's never the first person they see. It's always the second, right?
Always.
So, and this is what drives people, I think, crazy more than anything in college football or in football in general. When you're watching a game and the referees, they impact the game. Listen.
Yeah.
There were 26 penalties called in this game. It's the most in any SEC game they've had since 2019. So to say that they weren't involved is insane. Again, not saying that that's why Alabama lost at all. You got 3 turnovers in the first half and scored 0 points off of it. You fucking deserve to lose. 1,000% deserve to lose. The better team won. But people forget about this too. This was on 3rd and 7. On 3rd and 7, Kendrick Law Gets a pass on behind him. He gets taunted. Tennessee kid right up in his fucking face, which they were doing the whole game, right up in his face. And he's like jawing with him, and Law shoves him in the face, and he gets flagged. After he shoves him, the Tennessee guy throws a punch, hits him, like grazes his face mask, hits him in the face mask. The ref was right there for that. So to take a step back, it was 3rd and 1 with the 2-minute warning, right? 2-minute warning. It was 3rd and 1. They come back from break. They say there was conclusive evidence that Justice Haynes stepped out of bounds. I personally did not think it was conclusive. So instead of 3rd and 1, it's 3rd and 7. Then that pass happens. They call a dead ball penalty only on Bama, not an offsetting penalty. It's now 4th and 22, and that's the ball game. Like, that's a fucking joke. And then my personal favorite, Tyler, was in a game of 26 penalties, 26, the most in any SEC game over the last 5+ years. The best pass rusher in next year's NFL draft, James Pierce, the very next player on 3rd down for the next year's draft, the number 1 rated pass rusher in the entire fucking draft, jumps off sides. They didn't even fucking flinch. On throwing a flag. Now, it's like it feels like they could have. And then again, the point I was trying to make it to earlier, but I'm struggling here, is they cut to whoever that fucking ref is that's like in his little referee dungeon. He's like, yeah, I think that offsetting penalties would have made more sense here, but that's not what they did. I don't even know who Will Brooks is, Wesley Williams. And by the way, let's also be very clear. You guys have won 2 games by 7 points. Until you guys stop fucking tearing down the goalposts when you beat us, I don't think saying that we own Alabama is going to have any sort of impact on me personally. Until you guys stop storming the field and crying about songs from country music stars from 40 fucking years ago and claiming the rights to those songs, once that happens, then I will respect what you're saying. So
claim them, y'all. Claim them.
Fire that fucking pigskin. Anyway, it was
Shout out Dylan Sampson. Shout out Dylan Sampson. 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's clearly the difference in the game. Nico, at this point, man, like, is he worth the $11 million he's getting?
I think he's only getting 8, but the short answer is no. But he did make a beautiful throw at the end of that game. Chris Brazzell. How about fucking troll of the century, Tyler? Chris Brazzell liking my quarterback rankings on Sunday night. The guy who beat Bama on Saturday. You see, I saw it and I was like, this motherfucker. No, I don't know if he's worth that. How about the backup quarterback coming in and just fucking firing a 50-yard interception on his one play?
Gaston.
Like, it's Gaston Moore.
I love it. So yeah, 24-17 Tennessee. Second loss for Alabama. Almost 3 losses in a row.
They got 1 win by 2 points against a 3-loss South Carolina,
who looked great on Saturday. But let's move to the other big game of the night. Georgia.
Let's go back to the Bama thing for a second.
Oh God.
I have some things to say. One about Jalen Sampson. Dude, we are all over Ashton Jonte from Boise State.
Dylan Sampson?
Dylan Sampson. What did I say?
Something else. I don't even remember what it was, but it wasn't Dylan.
I'm so fucked up right now, Tyler. I've been listening to 311 for hours. So here's the deal. Sampson has 17 rushing touchdowns. Why is he not being involved in the Heisman? He's on the board now, finally. Last thing I'll say on this is the other issues that I have. Shut the fuck up, Locked On SEC. Actually, I didn't mean that. I don't think you're making fun of us. Last thing I'll say on this is Jalen Milroe had 27 pass attempts in the first half of this game. He has thrown more than 27 attempts in a game twice in 20 career starts. He had 27 in the first half. He ended the game with 45. He had 20 total incompletions. He missed 10 open receivers. He was bad. He has played bad over the last couple weeks. I don't know what happened after halftime at Georgia. Something clearly happened. But it's been bad. It's been bad, clearly. 18 targets to Ryan Williams. I don't know. People are thinking that maybe Milroe's not healthy. I don't know about that either. I will say one thing. The two defenses played their asses off. Tennessee's especially, they were great all day. I thought Bama's defense was good for most of the game, forcing the 3 turnovers. But here's the other thing too, Tyler, is this is something I brought up in the offseason. And one of the reasons I said they were going to go 9-3 and have been saying since the summer they were going to lose this specific game. Admittedly, on Saturday, I had a good feeling that we were going to win because at one point you had 3 turnovers. You just didn't get a single fucking point out of any of those turnovers, which is nearly impossible to do. But I said this all summer, okay? It's not that you lost 41 players to the portal. You lost 12 defensive backs. 12 defensive backs. Like, you lost 3 starters from last year, 2 to the NFL draft, 1 to Ohio State. You can't afford to be thin there, and they're very thin. And Keon Sabb played with a broken foot for like 3 quarters. Like, they are thin there, and that sucks. But it, like, you know, I think they're headed for 9-3. They're going to lose this weekend. I feel very confident in that. They could beat LSU. They beat LSU, they're going to make it.
What about those pesky Tigers down in Auburn?
Fucking all right, Allie.
All right, let's go to the next big game in the SEC, and that was Georgia and Texas. Georgia commanding victory here, 30-15. Obviously, it was a story of Georgia's defense locking in.
Mm-hmm.
Ewers never looked comfortable all night. At one point, he got benched for Arch Manning. Manning doesn't look so great himself, although, dude, that kid's got wheels.
Yeah, what's that about?
I don't know. He's super fast, which I had no idea about. Ewers comes back into the game, maybe plays a little bit better, but overall, not a shocking result. You actually called that on our podcast.
Did I?
Did that go viral?
I'm so bad. I like doubled my followers all the way up to 1,700 now. It did go to my viral. It had, I think my video had like 85,000 views. There were several other people that quote tweeted it and tweeted that had over 100,000. Tyler, my favorite part was all the Texas fans. My mentions on Friday when I posted it, which were a lot.
Okay. That seemed to rile them up a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got called a no chin ass, a 4-eye nerdy bitch, an old nerdy bitch. What else? I mean, fat.
No chin
that was
bid.
one. 2 chin having bitch, 2 chains having bitch.
Yeah.
I got called a lot of stuff. None of it honestly hurt my feelings, because if there's anything you know about me, Tyler, there's anything that you know about me. Yes, I love Alabama football so much. You know what I love arguably more than that, though? Is being right.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So.
The weird thing, so ETN's got 3 touchdowns in this game. Carson Beck, man, like, I just feel like his draft stock has had to have plummeted over this course of this season. 3 picks, no touchdowns. But ETN takes over, obviously, for the offense on the ground. And the craziest thing, obviously, was just the sequence of events. So Carson Beck throws a pick. There's a flag on the play. The guy picks it, runs it back for a touchdown. And then they go back and they say, oh, there was pass interference or was a defensive holding on the DB. And they're going back. I was actually out watching this game, so I couldn't exactly hear what the announcers were saying. But, basically everybody starts throwing like bottles on the field, all this kind of shit, delays the game. And while it's delayed, something I've never seen before, they go back
ever.
And we didn't even review it, but we were just thinking probably a bad call on us, honestly. I think
that's our bad.
Yeah, that's on us. We're going to reverse that play on.
They
I've never
said
seen
it so casually, Tyler. Like it wasn't one of the biggest plays of the game that they had the ball at the 9-yard line. Kirby saw it from the beginning and was like, "That's this way. That's going this way. That's going this way." And then they were like, oh, "By the way," so here's the part that's fucked up about it. Okay, there's no way you will convince me that during that break they didn't look up at the scoreboard and the jumbotron and be like, "Oh, that feels like that's a bad call." It felt like they did review it, which it's a non-reviewable play.
right.
It is. Let me ask you a deeper question. This a conspiracy question on this. Did it feel like to you from watching that game that Texas got the benefit of the doubt on a lot of stuff?
I don't necessarily remember that being the narrative of the game. So
Okay.
why does that how you feel?
Yeah, I think Texas brings in so much money. I think they bring in so much money that they've been given the benefit of the doubt and they've been like catered to and coddled for years. I kept going back to this. It's not even the calls.
Their schedule.
The schedule. Dude, like it's thank you. Yes, great minds. But dude, you know how I know it's bad is that Kirby said something about it in his fucking post game. Kirby was like, they tried to screw us on the calls, and it was like, whoa, like, dude, I've seen him mad. I've seen other coaches mad. Never in my life seen something like that in that moment. Just like I've never seen them overturn a call like that in the moment. And then on top of that, I kept going back to the schedule. Texas has played the 73rd most difficult schedule in the country so far,
Including Georgia.
Including Georgia.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we talked about it. We were like, okay, because I wavered on my pick. At first, I was all Texas, and then I started talking through it on the pod, and I was like, Texas defense has been very good, but now that I'm looking at it, they've played Colorado State, UTSA, Louisiana Monroe, Mississippi State, and the two teams that were actually ranked at the time that they played them are Michigan and Oklahoma, who have two of the worst offenses in the country. And this feels like these defensive numbers could be a little. And granted, they still have a good defense. I mean, Carson had a terrible day. But that defense for Georgia was what won the day, obviously.
So hold on real quick, because I'm wrong. It's not 73rd. That's Missouri. It's 51st. But no matter how you look at strength of schedule numbers, because I know this is always like some sort of point of contention for whatever fucking reason, okay? For whatever reason. No matter how you look at that, there are 7 teams in the SEC ranked in the top 10. Texas is ranked 51st after playing Georgia. That's almost fucking impossible. I mean, dude, and then Ewers gets benched, which was the right move. What happened?
I think Baker Mayfield just got hurt pretty bad, or maybe not. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought it was weird. It's the fact that they did it in that moment. That's when they chose. If they would have come out and said, "We're going to review," dude, just like talk to us like adults. This is what I'm most tired of. I think in the world. Stop lying to me about the health of presidents. Stop lying to me about what's really happening in the economy. Stop lying to me about the fucking refereeing that's happening in college football everywhere, because it's a epidemic of how bad it is. And I don't care how any of those, let me be very clear. I don't care how any of those things sound. That is exactly how I feel. And I'm so fucking tired of, I said this to Allie repeatedly, I am so fucking tired of going to Knoxville in the last 2 years, 32 penalties from 244 yards. I'm also tired of watching games that's like, dude, stop letting refs insert themselves in these moments. It's not making the game better. Like there were several moments in that game where it's like, wow, how is it like, dude, how about at the end of the first half when Georgia's trying to get a fucking timeout and they let 4 seconds go off the clock and Kirby's screaming at the ref. He's like, give me 4 seconds. Give me 4 seconds. And the guy just sits there and walks right by him. Like, what is happening? Texas is already going to make the fucking playoff. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I still think Georgia, despite the awesome victory here on the road at number 1, they got to find somebody to step up in the receiving game. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at the box score here. Oscar Delp is the leading receiver, 2 catches, 45 yards. Dominic Lovett, 4 catches, 35. Somehow, Arian Smith had 6 catches for 32 yards, one of them being 21 yards.
Arian Smith. That's dude. He's like a deep threat. How did he have 6 catches and it was somehow under 80?
Yeah, they got to find somebody to step up at the receiver position there. But obviously, huge win for Georgia.
Huge.
And yeah, they go. Let's see, do they have a bye this weekend before Florida, or is that?
Yeah.
So nice to go into the bye week. Hey, Florida's playing a lot better. We could touch on that game real quick. Like they kind of dominated Kentucky a little bit.
Kinda. It's 48-20. Of course they did.
Yeah.
Dude, again, if there's another thing that's really pissed me off this entire fucking year, it's all these bitch ass Florida fans coming in here. And I don't care how that sounds either. Tyler, I said some horrific things on Twitter on Saturday night. I just need to tell you that.
Oh god.
Allie was very upset with me and deservingly so. That's not the right one. Well, it looks like I didn't make one for this. Anyway, yeah, Florida fans being just absolute bitches about Billy Napier has been insufferable to hear all season long. Dude, they won 3 of their last 4. They've won as a home underdog twice in those 4 games by double digits. I mean, this was an ass whooping from a Kentucky team that was favored. The line got to 2.5. Here's the thing that I don't think people understand, because if it was anywhere else, we would be, because people don't like Florida. People don't like Florida for the same reasons you don't like other teams that have been dominant in the past, because they kicked your ass for a majority of our lifetimes. No offense. They didn't really do it to you guys. You guys were a really good opponent for them in the 90s. They beat Georgia 21 out of 30 years. That's why Georgia fans hate them so much, even though they own them right now. But like, I've gone on all my rants about Florida and how much I dislike their fan base this year. Billy Napier is going out there with a true freshman quarterback, a true freshman as an underdog with no fucking support from the fan base. That's another thing too that people don't understand. Like, that's one of the reasons why they want to keep that LSU game so much, is because like they need as much home clout as they can get. It's not a supportive fan base. It's a very lazy fan base.
Jaden Baugh, didn't even know who that was, but freshman. 5 touchdowns. Yeah.
From Atlanta, I think.
Oh, nice. So Montrell Johnson, is he hurt? He only had 1 carry in this game.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Lagway, his numbers weren't eye-popping by any means. 7 of 14 for 259 yards, though.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I mean, okay, so no touchdowns, 1 pick. And then you're like, okay, he threw the ball 14 times and 50% completion, but then 259 yards through the air.
5 plays over 40 or more yards. Remember when he did against Samford? I was like looking at the box score and I was like trying to write this stupid article, and I was like, at LouisianaSports.net. Make sure you guys check it out. I'm getting better at the whole writing thing too, Tyler.
Good.
Not by meeting deadlines. I've missed those a lot, but
okay.
But he what was it? I was like reading. I was like, oh, it looks like they didn't have much going on in the passing game. 7 of 14. So then I'm like looking at the box score and I'm like, they didn't run the ball. How did they get all these yards? Good Lord. I was like, what the fuck happened?
It's like, this doesn't even make sense to me, this line in the box score. Elijah Badger, 3 catches, 148 yards, no touchdowns.
It's almost impossible.
That barely adds up.
I don't know why that's so funny.
It's just crazy. Like,
I'm crying.
Missouri beat Auburn 21-17.
Let's talk about that for a second.
How about the quarterback, like, coming from the hospital?
Okay, so Brady Cook, if you guys didn't watch this game, let me just tell you what happened, because it's one of the craziest things I have ever fucking read, ever. Okay? Brady Cook hurt his ankle in the second series. He then disappeared. He wasn't on the sidelines. You didn't see him come back on crutches. He's just gone. He's gone.
He's off campus.
He's off campus. like a senior in high school getting lunch. He
Yeah.
leaves campus. He goes to the hospital. So in the fourth quarter, late in the third quarter, he comes back on the field, and you're like, oh, where the fuck has he been? There was no explanation. He just appeared like fucking Gabriel. Like it was unbelievable. That's an Angel comment for those of you. So he comes back on the field, and
Now we know who the real God's Tigers are. You know what I mean?
Allie said, "No, I'm not gonna say that."
Like God changed his mind on the.
Yeah, maybe God's not an Auburn fan. That would be a win.
So Brady Cook leads them back.
Goes to the hospital, comes back, goes into the indoor track facility to stretch out. At any point, I'm just expecting him to tell the truth and be like, get shot up with a pain reliever, comes back on the field, and he's like, let's fucking do this. He like looks at Drew Pine. This was the weirdest part, I think, to me. He looks at Drew Pine in the corner and he goes, what do I need to know? And he was like, yeah, I've killed it in this game. Let me just go ahead and tell you about the defense.
All right, bro. So I've thrown the ball 21 times. Not gonna lie, I've only completed 10. And those 10 have
only you like my stat line?
A cool 7.8 yards per completion. No big deal.
Where'd you go? Did you go to the dentist? Did you bring back McDonald's?
I'm just gonna go ahead, Brady. I think I set it up perfectly for you. I'm gonna be here chilling on the sideline.
Let me know if you need anything. Thanks for getting me a Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit. Like what? Where were you? So he comes in. I think he misses his first 2 attempts and then hits it like a 78-yarder down to the 1-yard line to Mookie Cooper. I'm in the middle of texting Jeff. I fucking hate Mookie Cooper. And he goes off 78 yards, gets down to the 1-yard line because he just dropped a pass. So they score back and forth a little bit. Auburn does everything they're supposed to do. They punt them deep. And you got to feel comfortable if you're Hugh Freeze in this moment because they flash up a sign and a graphic and a stat that I have tweeted out multiple times since then, Tyler. And it was in the last 20 years, Auburn was 104-1 when leading by 14 or more points in the second half. Brady Cook goes on a 17-play, 95-yard drive, took up 3 minutes and 40 seconds. He goes, I think he hit Luther Burden twice. On third down and fourth down, he was like 3 of 4 for like 59 total yards of offense, and then leads him to a last-minute score, and they beat Auburn. And if you're Auburn,
it's a tough one.
It almost feels expected at this point. They're like, I don't. What is Hugh Freeze like? How? What is the fucking? Why are you believing in this guy at this point?
I ask myself the same thing about Mike Norvell every day.
Allie, get in here.
Oh, God.
Just real quick. She said no twice. Okay.
2 teams I want to highlight. Miami is insane. Like, give up 45 points, but score 52 on the road to beat Louisville. They're going to absolutely just destroy us this weekend. I can't even fucking bear to.
Yeah.
Indiana was a 6.5 point favorite against Nebraska at home, and they won 56-7.
They are really. I had the thought this weekend that Bama should have hired Cignetti over DeBoer, which is rash.
I know. I've got people in my group chat saying, "Can we go get Indiana's coach?" I'm like, "Well, the problem is we just re-upped Mike Norvell this offseason for $10 million a year." So
yeah, we're trying to rub it in our face about it too.
Yeah, that's fair.
Can we highlight one more team?
Yeah, go ahead.
How about them South Carolina fucking Gamecocks?
Oh, you're just a Gamecock now. You're just a big cockhead.
Don't love that. Did you watch any of that?
I did. I mean, Oklahoma is as bad as Florida State is on offense. It like watching them play is really hard to watch. And I thought Jackson Arnold was gonna be sat for the year, save his red shirt. He comes back in. He looks bad still. Michael Hawkins looks no better. I mean, they basically gifted South Carolina a 21 point, maybe 14 points there when they went up 21-0.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were awful. But a lot of that was South Carolina's D-line, who continues to be awesome.
Most improved unit in the entire country. I thought it was going to be Auburn's receivers. It is, and they're good too. But like, it was so awesome to watch. Not just because I host Locked On Gamecocks, but because this is another thing I was right about. I kept saying this all week. I was like, the wrong team is favored. Like, we talk about how bad South Carolina's offense has been at times, dude. Oklahoma's offense is garbage. Like they were garbage. Dude, they got beat so badly, and they've been so bad this season. They finally fired their offensive coordinator. They ranked 107th or worse in 7 major offensive categories in the country, including points per game, yards per game, rush yards per game, rush yards per carry, yards per play, passing yards per game, and yards per attempt. They were like 120th or worse in most of them. Like, they're awful. So they fired him. But you have to give credit to South Carolina's defense. 9 sacks. That was the thing that stood out the most to me was South Carolina's D-line, which, by the way, had 21 total sacks last year. 21 total on the year. They were last in the SEC. They go out and they get Dylan Stewart. They get Kyle Kennard. They get a kid that went from South Carolina to Florida State back to South Carolina, Gilbert Edmond or whatever.
Yep.
Everybody on that defensive line ate. They looked really good. Nicky Manwari is one of the best safeties in the country. He's been awesome all season long, not even just then. I think he had to pick Bama too. He had 2 in this game, including this is his 2nd touchdown now of the season. They were great. And then the other thing that was most impressive to me too, they had a touchdown to go up 32-3. Same exact route concept and route design that they had against Bama when they scored on the 4th and 9. It was like a slot fade where they took the outside receiver into a post to take the safety away, and then it was a tight end, Josh Simon, and a slot wheel or slot fade, however you want to say it, and throw a touchdown pass. But this time they brought in orbit motion in the backfield and gave a whole new look. So like it's just an evolution of the offense that like I think a lot of people did not think was going to happen this year. It was good.
Absolutely. Illinois beats Michigan 21-7. Michigan is extremely bad on offense. I mean, there are some high-profile teams from last year that are really, really bad on offense. Let's see, what else do we have? Colorado, man, 34-7 over Arizona.
I didn't see that. That's wow.
Yeah, like they're 5-2. They might be a real threat in the Big 12 because I mean Utah sucks now.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like Kansas State obviously beat Colorado already, and I don't know that they're great. But yeah, man, Colorado looks like they're definitely better than anyone thought they would be. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Is part of you cheering for them at all now?
It is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like weirdly.
I hate
like,
Shedeur.
I
still don't like him. Shiloh's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
But Shedeur Sanders hasn't since that week where he threw his O-line under the bus. I think he finally heard the criticism and he shut up. I think he realized that if I keep talking, NFL teams are going to look at this and be like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Stop. Like, stop doing that. So he finally stopped and like they've been fun to watch, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Travis Hunter didn't even play the whole game. So we've got USC losing again. So they've lost to Minnesota. Now they lost to Maryland. That's tough.
Someone called him "you at the beach." That's tough. By the way, Purdue is the worst team in the country. They're way worse than y'all.
No, can't be. LSU, big win. We thought, or at least I did. I thought Arkansas maybe would have a little bit of maybe just the spot for LSU coming off the big win against Ole Miss, going on the road at night against Arkansas. No problems at all. 34-10 LSU.
Arkansas with a bye week.
Yeah. Is my internet bad or yours?
It's mine. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Anything else that stuck out? I thought it was really impressive, even though, like, as you said, Purdue's not good. And I thought it was impressive that Oregon, off that big Ohio State game, went on the road. Boilermakers, they always have one game a year where they catch somebody in a bad spot and Oregon
Yeah.
goes on the road and completely shuts them out. Like never struggled in the game at all. I thought that was impressive coming off the Ohio State game.
I did say going into that game that the lock of the week was Purdue under a half point in the first quarter, because Purdue's offense, if you watch them all year from a betting standpoint, Purdue's been awful. They're one of 2 teams in the entire country that hasn't scored in the first quarter of a game all season. Like, that's insane.
100%.
Yeah,
your Wi-Fi is definitely choppy at this point.
Okay.
BYU with another victory. They didn't cover, but 7-0 BYU. I am so obviously we're not going to get Army and Navy in the playoff because they play each other. But Army and Navy being ranked and undefeated, and BYU being 7-0, I lost you. Anyways, guys, as I was saying, pretty impressive for Army, Navy, and BYU to be undefeated and ranked. That's pretty cool. It's gonna be weird if we get to the playoffs and it's BYU and Army that are in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'd love that. Army hosting that'd be so sick to go Army hosting a playoff game in December against Clemson
in the
or something
snow.
like that.
Yeah, that'd be actually pretty sick. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the internet. This has not been a problem. It's been fine, and now it's a fucking issue. But let's play the voicemails.
Alrighty. We'll just go in chronological order, starting at 4:30 on Saturday. We had an Indiana Hoosier fan call in.
Hey guys, it's the Indiana Minute coming from your boy Walker in Columbus, Ohio. Can't believe they just kicked the absolute shit out of the vaunted Cornhusker defense. Indiana to the playoffs? I think so. So let me know what you guys think. Let's talk a little bit more about those Hoosiers.
What do you think about the Hoosiers, Chris?
Dude, they're fun to watch. Rourke, it sucks that I think he's injured right now. Or he was injured. They beat the shit out of Nebraska. They beat the shit out of Nebraska. He's 1,000% right. I love the fact, that he is, or that they are drawing interest, one, in Columbus, Ohio, and then also that we have listeners that want to hear more about Indiana, because I'm fucking down to talk about them. They are fun to watch. Rourke has been awesome all season. They're ranked ahead of Bama right now.
Dude, what are they, 13 now?
Yeah. How about Vandy finally getting ranked, by the way, and they didn't even use their logo. They forgot to put their logo on the official Associated Press site.
So let's just play this out real fast for Indiana. They've got Washington this weekend at home. I mean, they're 6.5 point favorites. I mean, they were 6.5 point favorites against Nebraska. So I think I like Indiana in that game. They go on the road to Michigan State, Michigan at home, which I think at this point, Indiana's just a better team than Michigan. Then you got to bye, and then you go on the road to Ohio State, which is the big one. And then you come back home for Purdue. I think there's a very good chance that Indiana only has one loss. I mean, and if you're in the Big Ten, you got to be in the playoffs if you have a one loss.
They don't play Penn State, which is odd.
Yeah.
Because that would have helped. Sorry, I'm trying not to talk too much because I don't want my Wi-Fi to ruin the fucking show.
All right, this one's our buddy James Spivey calling at 5:30 on Saturday.
Hey, fellas.
In the morning?
James Spivey here. Halftime in the Alabama-Tennessee game. This is just fucking struggle ball both ways. This is ugly. Neither team deserves to win. Hopefully Alabama can make some adjustments and maybe one day capitalize on the turnover. I don't know. That'd be great. Maybe for Christmas this year. That's what I'll get. Anyways, get back to this game. Love you guys.
I'm sorry it ended up the way it did.
Any more, James?
They did not indeed capitalize on any of those turnovers after all. But I hope Christmas is great for you.
What's up, guys? It's Bama Bo here. Yep. I'm a Bama Bo. That's it. Fucking dude, the absolute horrid of that game. I mean, there were so many things. Marler's going to go off like crazy about this, I already know. But all those turnovers in the first half just could never capitalize. I mean, it's just miserable. There's no fight in this team. It just feels like, I don't even know. There's so many different things going on with that game. So that sucks. T-Huck, I know FSU had a tough time as well. Them Duke
Feels
boys.
rude.
So whatever, dude. This season is tough to watch, but hell, it's good for a lot of good football though. So anyway.
All right.
This team is tough to watch. I will say that. It's very fucking frustrating. Like, to see there be no fucking awareness or fight, that is very frustrating.
I get that.
No.
We got a few more Bama callers.
Oh, damn it.
Marler, T-Hawk, Logan again. Last week I said we get Dick Witt by Tennessee. We didn't. But I've got one thing to say, and that's the discipline aspect of the Alabama Crimson Tide. It took Nick Saban since 2007 to build discipline into the structure and the foundation of Alabama. And I'm not saying DeBoer broke all that shit down in a matter of 8 weeks, but he has to understand the standard of Alabama and what comes to being a coach at Alabama. He needs to understand that there has to be discipline. You're held accountable for what you're doing, and you're held to a higher standard, and the tangible things that come with that. Another thing, fucking hate Tennessee. God, I hate Tennessee. That's beside the point. And everybody who's
Same.
saying Milroe this, Milroe that, I understand. He needs to be better. He needs to be held to a higher standard. And I'm not saying anything, but if you're had all this talk all year about how he's going to be a Heisman finalist, Heisman this, Heisman that, by God, he has to show up every fucking week in, week out. It don't matter who you're playing. It doesn't matter if it's fucking Vanderbilt or Georgia. You got to play the same each week, and you got to come prepared every day. You got to lace up your fucking shoes, lace up your fucking cleats every fucking week in the SEC, and Kalen DeBoer hasn't figured that out. That's all I've got to say. I could rant on, but you guys say keep it short and not so sweet. So that's it. Hope you're here on the pod. Appreciate what you guys are doing with the pod. That's it. See you back.
We appreciate that, Logan. I'll back this up too. You know what? Somebody said that I knew where I was going to freak out, and I didn't necessarily. But I'll tell you what I want to see more than anything. I'd love to see Ryan Williams cancel that fucking podcast. I would love to see that. You know, we take breaks from the podcast usually because the internet's bad. But like, maybe we take a break from your fucking podcast and we just collect the NIL check anyway and focus on Mizzou and then LSU. Maybe we just get back to basics and focus on not fucking Aaron Roback commercials with Milroe, not going on next live, even though they employ me now and I love them to death. But at the same time, why don't you focus on going to fucking beat somebody and getting back to that? Because, dude, 3 games since you beat Georgia. 3 games. 1-2, a 2-loss win over, a 2-point win over a 3-loss team is fucking inexcusable. Like the interception Milroe threw was absolutely fucking inexcusable. Absolutely fucking inexcusable. Just terrible.
Chris, I have to watch DJU in Celsius and Beats by Dre commercials.
And Circle K.
Yeah, it's all tough. All right, moving on.
T-Huck, Uncle Chris, it's your boy Miller time. What the fuck is up, baby? Calling in to say, go motherfucking dogs. Fuck Texas. Fuck their bitch-ass student section. And first and foremost, fuck NCAA referee Matt Leffler, who tried everything in his fucking power to give them this game. Fuck them. Go dogs.
Woo! My boy is fired up. That came in at 11:30 p.m.
Yeah.
We start getting in Sunday early morning. Coach Trill.
Oh, God.
Marler,
Hold on, pause
T-Hawk,
it.
what's up? This is Coach Trill.
Pause. He texted me and said, hey, man, this is today. He did this today on Monday. Just a heads up, I left a message. No clue what I said. I have no idea. I was very drunk. So this could go bad.
Okay, well, I'll put my hand over the pause button.
Yeah.
All I got to say is, Marler, sorry about losing to Tennessee. Fuck Tennessee. Those inbred fucks can go fuck themselves. T-Huck, sorry about losing to Duke. First time ever in program history. It all sucks. At least they don't have a track at their stadium. At the same time, fuck Texas and fuck Matthew. All right. You lost by 2 fucking scores. Quoted by Chris Marler. Here we are. Marler, you know ball. So that's all I got to say. At the same time, hey, Georgia still alive for everything else. Bama, 2 losses behind us. The only people in front of us are LSU and Texas A&M, and fuck the Colt and whatever the shit goes on in that bayou. But anyway, dogs on top, dogs by fucking 90. Here we go. And all I got to say is fuck Texas. It still may be 10-9 in Dallas, but 30-15. Fuck Sark, Quinn Ewers. You ain't used to shit. Good luck as a 5th round quarterback being drafted. Peace.
Love
Our
that.
fans are fired up.
Oh, we got a okay, I think Logan called us back at almost 1 a.m.
Oh no.
Hey y'all, this is Logan again. Anyway, I
Gunshot.
forgot something previously from my call. I really
love this
don't
guy.
know the best way to put this, but I miss the days when we just wanted to go out there. By we, I mean Alabama, of course. When we just went out there and we were trying to, be the best. We were for a while, but we're too soft now. I've watched some of the interviews from the post game. We're too soft, and I'm just leaving that. And I don't know what happened from.
Yeah,
Well, I do know what happened, saving us, but we're too soft, and that's all I gotta say.
I love that Logan went home. Let's hope he didn't drive. Maybe he was the rider in the car.
Yeah.
Went home, immediately watched the press conference after the game, and was like, you know what? I'm fucking calling back and talking about how soft these bitches are.
They are. Listen, he may have slurred his words. Nothing he said was wrong. Did you see the 4th and 1? What Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard were doing?
Oh yeah, that was insane.
What?
That was insane.
Yeah. Anyway.
Horns down, bitch. This is Angry Fan UGA Chris reporting to you live from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Nice.
Fuck the Horns. Go Dogs. And fuck the refs too. The refs tried to fuck us. Fucking WWE bullshit. Tried to make it seem like it was a staged event. We don't want none of you. But go fucking Dogs.
Love it.
Oh,
Love it.
and horns down.
Took him a while for that second one.
Yeah.
The lady in the background going crazy too. Oh,
That was
that guy called back. 12:44 a.m.
By the way,
Yeah.
this is Angry Fan UGA Chris again. Like, I really, really love y'all's podcast. You and Marler are fantastic. You have great insight. Everything is great on the podcast. You guys are fucking hilarious. But horns down, go Dogs.
Oh yeah. All right, sweet.
Also, love that he called back to say something nice. That guy fucking rules. Thank you.
I know.
What's good, T-Huck? I'm sorry, man. It's been a rough go for FSU these days, and I'm sorry to hear that.
No, he's not.
Marler,
I gotta say, everybody's been pretty nice about Florida State just being dog shit.
Garbage. Yeah, it's fair.
I just want to say shout out to you, man. You're one of my favorite Georgia fans. And, we knew a new favorite Georgia fan, Pastor Patty Sue, dropping that horns down from the Lord. Thank you for that. That was awesome. I'm really glad that those refs, took some time to get the trash off the field so they could overturn that call so that Texas fans had nothing to complain about and nothing to point to except themselves in the mirror. Horns down, go Dogs. Love the show. Keep it up.
Dude, yeah. I do. That is a good point. Now that we have the benefit of hindsight, like it's actually nice as a Georgia fan to be like, you guys got like one of the worst the best all time calls, and you still got your ass kicked.
Yeah. I mean, dude, also, one thing we didn't talk about earlier, and we probably should have opened with it, or if we do the uncensored one a week later. Kirby Smart's fucking absolute menace of a son. Did you see the picture of him afterward?
Yeah.
Just holding up the phone. It's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen.
The best. Resident Florida fan, I want to play his voicemail, but it was 3 minutes long for one. And for two, it was sent at 3:18 a.m. on Sunday morning. I want to play it. 3 minutes too long, my guy. Shout out to Florida for winning that game, though. It seems like they're definitely going to beat Florida State's ass. So you can feel good about that. I know it's a rough stretch coming up, but good.
Yeah, also, let me apologize directly to him because I love Resident Florida fan. And I know I said some things earlier that were rude. I love him.
Yeah.
I love that he brings 3 minutes, probably a little bit long, but
yeah,
we appreciate it. 3:18 does make me want to listen to it more, but we won't do that.
Yeah. All right. Two more.
All right.
Tyler, Chris, Bama fan here. It's Sunday, little afternoon, Central Standard Time. Big fan of the show. Voicemail leaver since last season. Love the show. It sucks losing to those orange cuck bitches. The worst part is I knew it was coming, and it made it a little easier. I told anybody that would listen all week. All I heard about from my fellow Gumps, my fellow Bammers, was that how their offense had been struggling. How their offense had been struggling. Told anyone that would listen. What I fear is Tennessee's running game and Tennessee's defense, and boy, did it come to fruition.
Yeah.
Knew it was coming, but it still didn't make it that much easier. So hopefully, Marler, shout out to him for being right about the Georgia game. He called it, and called it on this game also. Looking forward to the recap pod whenever you guys do it. Need Marler's rage to heal my soul after this crushing defeat to the hated Vols. Love the show.
Need Marler's rage to help heal my soul as an all-time line.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think anyone's ever said that. So
no, but it makes me so happy.
All right. Our last call is reserved for our resident Georgia Southern fan, Mr. Gattabud, called at 4:30 on Sunday.
Fourth and wrong. It's your boy Gattabud. First off, I want to give a shout out to Tyler Huck. He's playing me in fantasy right now, and he started Cooper Kupp, who is out. And it's the only reason why I have a chance at possibly winning this week. So thanks, Tyler. Good move there. Really proud of you. But we had another game in Statesboro this weekend, and I have absolutely nothing to be angry about. It was a flawless performance against James Madison. And JMU came into Statesboro, I think, a 9-point favorite, and they're now 0-6 in Paulson Stadium all time. They can't beat us. They just can't beat us. The thing is, though, when you're an underdog like we are all the time, we're like Bruce Banner in the Avengers. We're always angry. We just turn it back on all the time. So, hail Southern. They're in the driver's seat of the Sun Belt East now, and pretty much all they have to do is win Thursday and then probably beat Coastal, and they are playing in a Sun Belt championship game. So, Gatta.
Dude, Georgia Southern had 4 turnovers in that game and still beat JMU by 14. Shout out Georgia Southern. Shout out Georgia Southern.
Yeah, there you go.
And that'll do it for the voicemails. That'll do it for the show. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Don't forget, we'll be coming to you later this week live for our Week 9 review, or preview, I should say, which I can't believe it's Week 9 already, but
sucks.
We are getting into the thick of finding out who's going to be in the playoffs. So tune in. I don't know if it'll be Wednesday or Thursday, one of the two. We will be back. Thank you for tuning in, Chris. Anything else?
Nope.
Appreciate all you guys tuning in live on the YouTube and Twitter page. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We will see you guys later this week to preview
Oh,
week
the
9.
internet thing. Awesome.